Welcome to Hawkmar Outdoors, and on this episode we're going to be taking a plain Jane Old Hickory Hunter and we're going to be turning it into the proper hunting knife. We're going to take you through the steps of making this, so y'all stay tuned. To go over a few items that you're going to need for this project, you need apple cider vinegar, gun glue, Gorilla Glue, linseed oil, alcohol for cleaning, a hand sander, or you could just use sandpaper, a hammer, torch to put the finish on the grips there, the handles, and a vise to hold it all together. So first step to making this the proper knife here, we're going to go ahead and sand the handles down or the scales down while they're still riveted on. I just find it's easier to do it this way. We went ahead and duct taped the blade so it's safe to use and you ain't gonna be worried about getting cut. Let's get started on that. I'm going to take another piece of sandpaper and I'm just going to take down all the edges and smooth out as best I can. Now that we have the handles all sanded down to our liking, we're going to go ahead and take it off. I've already gotten the top one started here. If you remember, the Old Hickory side is the logo side is the side that you want to pry off of. It's the female and male end, and the Old Hickory side, it's easier to pop off. But this one's getting ready to pop off here. Like that. Don't lose these, because we're going to reuse them. Go ahead and do the other side. I find that just using another Old Hickory or some kind of flat blade gets these off the best. It'll just be easy. Work it. Should come off pretty easy. Give the adhesive a little better surface to stick to the blade and the handle there. We're going to rough it up with some sandpaper. Like last time, we're going to go ahead and glue underneath the handles to give it some protection and so it won't rust or anything like that or degrade over time. The glue will help it out a little bit, but we need to go ahead and put a little alcohol on here. Get rid of any wools that's on this blade before we do that. Let it dry off. The handle is nice and taped up, so I don't got to worry about getting cut. And we're going to take some glue, put a little bit on there, just rub it in. And I taped off to the point where I didn't want any glue to go past. As you can see, it is turning colors and it's going to be somewhat protected underneath that handle. And the amount I put on there is plenty for both sides. For this knife, we're going to put a forced patina on it like we did last time. Only difference this time, we're going to be using apple cider vinegar that we're going to boil. It's cooking right now, warming up. Now that the handle area is all done, we got the blue on there, nice and sanded down so that when we put the handles on there, give it a little bit better surface to stick onto it. We're going to go ahead and start with the blade. Of course, be careful. We need to go ahead and degrease this area too, a little bit of alcohol. Because you don't want any oils on this. Put a little paracord on this. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Might work, never tried it before, but I want to kind of give it a type of design on there. I'm going to take the vinegar. It's been boiling. We boiled it up. It's kind of been sitting here for a minute. And we're going to pour it right in there. I'm going to let it do its thing for about 15 minutes. And we're going to check on it after that. So it's been sitting here about 10-15 minutes. I just checked on it and it is plenty done. As you can see, kind of. So we're going to unravel it here. Let's see. Definitely came with a little pattern going on it. But we're going to wipe down with some water and call that good. So now we got the blade all done, ready to go. We're going to attach the handles now. And we are using Gorilla Glue. I know some people don't use it, some people say it's not good for this, but I've used it on Myers' blade and he throws his all the time and it's holding up just fine. And been to Alaska. So, what I didn't know before, and until I started watching videos about it, get the surface that you're putting this glue on just a little bit wet. You don't want it super wet or anything like that, but just get it moist. And that is going to help that glue activate. I'm really not too sure on the science behind it, but we're going to put some on here. And with this glue, it expands. So I'm going to try to keep it in the center because when I do push it on, it's going to expand out. So I've got that side on. I'm going to go ahead and get my rivets. Put a smudge inside the hole of the rivet. And if you don't want to get this on your hands, understand? Get that side on. Do the same to the other rivet. Try to wipe off the excess before it dries. Again, it's already, you can kind of tell it's expanding on there. Watch your hands. I don't have the blade covered. You should probably have your blade covered. Put a little bit on this male end. Do that second. Get a nice clump of glue on here. Pop this down. Push that through. All right. We're going to hammer these in to a certain point. Wipe off the excess again. Now we got our handles on, all the excess glue is wiped off because that glue, Gorilla Glue, it expands. And the more we get off at this stage, the less we got to do. So we're gonna get this in the vise. Instead of using clamps, I'm just gonna use my vise here. I got it padded. We're gonna clamp it down. The container and the directions say at least for 1 to 2 hours. And when this gets done, we're going to sand off all the excess that might come through. It might not, who knows? But we'll check in about an hour or two and we'll come back. So it's been sitting about hour and a half in the vise. As you can see, it has come out a little bit. Some of that rag stuck to it, but not too much because I kept wiping it down and checking it. But we're just gonna take a little bit of a sander, sandpaper, hit those edges just a little bit. Try to get off all the leftover stuff. As you can see, I have already charred it. I had forgotten to do it before we put the glue on. So I went ahead and done it real quick before I let it sit, because if we do it at this stage, it's probably going to melt the glue again, and we don't really want that. But our other video, the 14-inch butcher knife, showed us doing it, and I did the same process there pretty much. And we showed it better on that one. This is going to make this pop. This little bit of tung oil is going to protect it. It's going to make it look really good. Just get that all over that blade, and it's going to soak it up. Get it all over the handle, I mean. It's going to soak it all up. You can get some on the blade too, it don't matter. Just going to protect it. Came out really good. We have taken you through the process, showing you all the steps on how to make the proper hunting knife out of the old Hickory Hunter. Give you a real quick scene of that for the last time. Came out real nice. But Meyer, yeah, it really came out nice. What we're going to do, I'm going to be carrying a bone stock 5-inch hunter, and we're going to put it through its paces. The idea is we're going to see if the modifications we did today helped it, hurt it, or were indifferent versus the stock model. So, you all stay tuned. We're going to have another video on this knife after we put it through its paces for probably a month or two. So, yeah. But, you know, you all stay tuned. Yeah. Come back, and y'all have a good one.